Subject Microprocessor, Semester 5th, Branch CSE. Unit 1. Topic is Evolution of Microprocessor. Now first is introduction. What is microprocessor? A microprocessor is a controlling device is the controlling unit or CPU of a microcomputer. What is microprocessor? Microprocessor is the controlling unit or CPU of a microcomputer and fabricated chip on very small chip capable of performing arithmetic and logical operation. Okay, what is microprocessor? Microprocessor is the controlling unit or CPU of a microcomputer and fabricated chip on very small chip capable of performing arithmetic and logical operations and communicating with the external world connected to it. Okay, now next topic is the generation of computer. Generation of computer. A computer have 6 generations. Number 1, first generation. In this generation, the computers are produced between 1951 to 1958 and they use vacuum tubes in electronic circuits. Okay, what is first generation? This generation was come in 1951 to 1958 and they use vacuum tubes in the electronic circuit. Examples are IBM 650, UNIVAC 1, IBM 701. These are the examples of first generation computer. And number 2, second generation computers. Second generation computer. The second generation computer was marked by a major hardware revolution and the invention was done in invention of transistors in 1950s. After first generation, second generation come and we use transistors in this generation. Examples are IBM 7090, CDC 1604, IBM 1620, IBM 1401 and IBM 7094. Okay, now next is the third generation computer. In third generation computers, the third generation computers was announced in 1964, and they use integrated circuits and they are this device, and these devices were commonly named as LSI, that is the large scale integrated circuits. Examples are ICL 1900, 2900 series, CDC 600, 6600. Okay, now the next is the fourth generation computers. Fourth generation computers. The fourth generation computers announced in 1974. They use VLSI, that is very large scale integrated circuits. Okay, examples are DCM, HP 300, IBM 3033, HCL, IDBM, Micros, and Apple II extra. Okay, this is your fourth generation computers. Now the next is the fifth generation computer. Fifth generation computers are advanced hardware and software concepts. This type of computer is called a multiprocessor. A number of companies have now introduced multiprocessors, that is Intel IPSC, that is Intel Personal Super Computer. Okay, this is the 5 generations, and last one is the 6th generation and beyond. 6th generation and beyond. In this generation, we use artificial neural networks, and computers are known as neural computers. Okay, now our next topic is microcomputer system, that is also known as digital computer. And this is the block diagram of digital computer. This is your input device. This is your input device. Input is given at this point, input ports. This is your CPU, central processing unit. This is your output ports. That is the output devices. These are connected to the output devices, and these ports are connected to the input devices. What are the input devices? Keyboard, mouse, digitizer, scanner, trackball, light pen, extra. Okay, this is your memory. It is connected to the CPU, and these are your output devices: monitor, printer, plotter, LEDs, 7-segment display, and LCDs. Okay, in this diagram, this is input port, this is central processing unit, output port. Input devices are keyboard, mouse, digitizer, scanner, trackball, light pen, and this is the monitor, printer, plotter, LEDs, 7-segment display, and LCD extra. The first of all, your signal goes to the input ports, and then what processing has to be done, that is done in the CPU. After that, the things which you data want to store in the memory, that goes to the memory. It can be go to the CPU, go to the memory, and then your output which you want to receive is come to the output ports, and through monitor, printer, plotter, LED, LCD, you can see your output. Okay, this is the block diagram of microprocessor. Okay, what is microprocessor? The microprocessor is the heart of any normal computer. Okay, now what is the block diagram? First of all, there is CPU, there is a ROM, there is a RAM, and this is the input output device or input output port. These four have interconnected. सिग्नल एक से दूसरी जगह किन्हीं चारों में भी जा सकता है. Signal can go from one block to the other block, and this is your clock crystal, from where you give the clock signal, and this is your control bus. It is also connected to the CPU, ROM, RAM, and input output device. This is your address bus. This is also connected. Signal goes to the CPU, RAM, ROM and input output device. Okay, this is your data bus. It is also connected to the 4 blocks, that is CPU, ROM, RAM and input output device. Signal can go from CPU to ROM, ROM to RAM and RAM to input output ports. Okay, this is the block diagram of the microprocessor. What is address bus? An address bus sends an address to memory. Okay, what is the function of data bus? A data bus can send data to memory or receive data from memory. Now, what is the control bus? Function of control bus. The control bus instructs the chips to do various things. Okay, this is all about the block diagram of microprocessor.